My name is Cameron Going, and I'm getting a BA in Ministerial Education. Well, GBS has really meant a lot to me. I remember stepping on campus 4 years ago, and I was just a completely different person. I remember my first night at GBS and squeezing into a little twin bed. I remember having that thought come across my mind, this feels a lot like youth camp, except I know I'm gonna be here for a little longer. I had no idea just how long I actually was gonna be here. You see, when I came to GBS, I would say I'd consider myself a Christian, but at the same time, there was something inside of me, I don't know, you could call it carnality. I wanted to do the right thing, but at the same time, I wanted that right thing to fit my own mold. I wanted to do my own thing. I came to GBS for 2 reasons, and really 2 reasons only. I wanted to come, number 1, because my parents wanted me to, and number 2, I wanted to take principles of a Christian life. My plan was I was going to come to GBS for 1 year, and then I would go back to Indiana, enroll in some state school, and pursue medicine so I could make a boatload of money. That was my plan. That's what I wanted to do. The reason I wanted to take principles of a Christian life is because I was raised in the conservative holiness movement my whole life. But truthfully, at that stage in my life, I just wasn't buying what I thought they were selling. I respected a lot of people and I wanted to learn, but I talked to my parents for so many hours about different issues that I thought were going to be the big issues. And I'm sure they explained it well. Like I said, I wanted my own way in so many different areas. But for whatever reason, it just didn't ingrain itself inside of me. So I decided I was going to come to GBS, and with the mindset of I wanted to hear the best argument that the holiness movement had to offer. And so I came to GBS, and you can imagine my surprise when I walked into my class, sat down, and Dr. Phil announced to the class that we were going to be spending the entire first semester about loving God and loving others. My first thought was, are you kidding me? I came here for 1 class, and I really only had 1 goal, and I'm going to be wasting the entire first semester on loving God and loving others? I thought I knew everything there was to know about that. Well, I couldn't have been more wrong. That whole first semester, God had started to deal with my heart in ways that He had never done before. And I truly believe it was during that first semester at GBS that God really taught me how to love Him. By that second semester, when we began to talk about the juicy things, it was funny how my mindset had changed. I'd gone from a mindset of, let's see what you've got, to a mindset of, I don't know everything, but I love God with all my heart, and I want to continue to love Him with my whole being. Whatever way that is best done, I want to do. Throughout that first semester, God really began dealing with my heart, and as the semester progressed, I just started giving all sorts of parts of my life to Him. I think this really culminated in the winter revival of my freshman year, where God really began to deal with me on one last thing that I'd yet given to Him, my career. I think for guys everywhere, your career is one of the most important things to you. That's something you want to hold on dearly. But for me, it was a little bit more than that. You see, I've known that I've had a call to preach since I was 7 years old. But in 8th grade, I decided that wasn't the direction I was going to go. Truthfully, when I look back, it's incredible to see how young the devil will try to grab somebody. And he had distracted me and disillusioned me into thinking that if I was going to pursue pastoring, I was going to be poor, destitute, I'd have no fun, I'd constantly be under a microscope, and I would just be plain miserable. But that winter revival, God spoke to my heart, and I realized that He was saying something like this to me. I felt like God was saying that if I don't give Him everything in my life, well, then I really haven't given Him anything. And so that night, I surrendered that last part of my entire life to Him, my career. For so many years, I listened to those lies of that I would be poor or destitute or whatever. But ever since I made that decision to follow God's leading in my life, I can't tell you the excitement that Jesus has brought into my life. Throughout these last 4 years at college, God has instilled into me a passion for pastoring and witnessing and leading others to Christ. I'm so excited for what God has for me. I'm excited to go out and pastor after I graduate. It's something that has meant more to me than anything else in this world. When I look back at myself when I was a freshman, sure, I was excited to pursue medicine and make money and be important in the world's eyes. But now that I look at myself now, I can't tell you how much more excited I am about the calling that God has on my life, and I can't wait to pursue God's leading. God's Bible School and College has been instrumental to me in my educational pursuits, my love for God, and my passion for ministry. For me, God's Bible School and College's campus is and always will be holy ground, and I recommend it to anyone who would consider coming to Bible college.